Hi, how you doing? Happy New Week to you if you're watching this on a Monday. I'm delivering this on a Monday, you know. So I've been doing a bit of reflection lately. I do some reflecting at the beginning of every week, a little bit at the end, but mostly I kind of save it till the beginning of the next week, especially when it's work related. And one of the things I was reflecting about was the pace at which things have changed in the last 10 years or so. 10 years, only 10 years, incredible. It took years and years for things to change back in the 1800s and some of the 1900s. Things moved, things changed, things grew, things developed, but they developed quite slowly. But today, whoa, the pace is ferocious. It's actually quite cool in many, many ways. I think it's cool anyway. What do you think? So let's think, because I work in personal development, personal growth, and all of that stuff, let's think about how much the personal growth landscape has transformed over the last decade compared, for example, to the changes we saw over the past century. So, in my work as a therapist and coach, I find it fascinating. And it's also essential that I stay current with these shifts because staying current helps me to support individuals and groups effectively. And that's whether they're striving for personal resilience or organizational growth. So let's try and find a bit of perspective with this. So over the past century, we saw landmark innovations. Wonderful. The internet, antibiotics, social movements like civil rights. All of these things laid a foundation for modern society. Yet the past 10 years have accelerated progress in ways that fundamentally reshape our world. And it's important that that we're reshaping our approach to self-improvement as well. Let's think about technology and artificial intelligence. In just the last decade, we've seen advancement in artificial intelligence, cloud computing, wearable tech. I'm not wearing one, but I've got one. Wearable tech that would have seemed like science fiction not long ago. AI in particular is reshaping how we learn, how we work, and how we understand ourselves. Today, AI can analyze data on our habits. It can suggest improvements and even guide us through complex decisions. It's crazy. And that's whether it's career planning or mental wellness. 10 years ago, that's not long. 10 years ago, this level of support was unimaginable. Healthcare, personalization, medicine has evolved as well. Medicine keeps evolving. It moved from broad treatments to targeted and very personalized therapies. Gene editing tools like CRISPR and telemedicine are enabling treatments that align with our unique biology and lifestyles. And this speed and specificity are game changers for people facing things like chronic conditions or people who want to actively improve their physical and mental health. And this resonates really deeply with my own journey. I was told some years ago, more than 10 years ago, that I'd never walk again. I found ways to manage my fibromyalgia on my terms. Now I guide others toward taking charge of their health and well-being too. So what about climate and wellness? We're a lot about climate, right? The environment has also entered the conversation on personal growth in a big way. More people are adopting eco-friendly habits and exploring wellness practices like breath work, mindfulness, holistic nutrition, and all of these are to create balance. So in my work, I encourage people to think of their self as an ongoing art project because that's what we are, I believe that. And it's one that requires careful cultivation, very similar to that of a garden. And this holistic approach helps us to integrate both personal and environmental well-being. Cool, right? And that recognizes that true growth is actually interconnected. What about purpose-driven living? We hear a lot about that because people today are more intentional about living by their values, seeking purpose in their careers, and finding meaning beyond material success. And this aligns with the question I always come back to: how can I help? When we ground our actions in purpose, our lives gain direction and they gain fulfillment too. So, for instance, I focus on delivering small, actionable steps to my clients. And that's whether they're navigating major life transitions or seeking more joy and balance in everyday life. Finding purpose is no longer a passive pursuit. And that's because it's an active alignment with what truly matters. So what about community? Community and connection. Connection has transformed with social media. I know there are downsides to social media, but there are some very big upsides. And that makes global networking a part of our daily lives. The 20th century saw essential social reforms. And platforms today amplify voices instantly, and they help us to address social issues with a reach that would have been inconceivable in previous decades. Think about it. In my practice, I've seen firsthand how community support accelerates personal growth, especially in group work. In group work, where shared challenges and experiences help us to develop resilience and accountability. I think these trends are a toolkit for each of us if we choose to accept it. A toolkit for making purposeful, resilient, and connected lives possible. As we embrace rapid change, remember, growth isn't just about the tools we use. It's also about nurturing a grounded and intentional self. It is an art form, and it's an art form that we refine continuously. A lot of changes, right? Here's a little one that I remember from some years ago. So I was working in Germany. This is before I had that accident where I crashed out. So I was working in Germany and I had a lot of friends that were work colleagues and friends outside of work. And I was in also a really cool position because it's something that I've always enjoyed. Some of my friends were American, some were Canadian. There were some who were German, some were Dutch, some were British, of course. I worked in a British community. And there were some Italians, there were people, Norwegians. I'm going to have to stop. But I had all of these connections. When the internet was very, very young, so there were no video calls, that sort of stuff wasn't there yet. But the internet was very, very young. It was wow, it was really exciting. And then one day, one of my Canadian friends who'd gone back to Canada called me in Germany and said, "Hey, Steve, get on this blah blah blah, this thing on the internet, and we can chat. No more expensive phone calling because that call from Canada cost him loads of money. And likewise, when I called him in Canada, cost me loads of money. So we got on the internet and we were chatting in real time by type. Very cool. Pre-video, I know. A bit primitive compared to today, I know. But it was incredible. Think about how much that's moved on because that wasn't that many years ago. So thanks for being here today. I hope this has given you some food for thought. The journey of personal growth is incredible. And it's one that reminds us that no matter how fast the world changes, the fundamentals of human resilience, purpose, and connection, they remain at the heart of our well-being. And they remain, for that reason, they remain at the heart of my business too, and that's not going to change. Some things perhaps don't change. Think about it. Let me know in the comments. Send me a direct message. You want to keep this conversation going? No problem. Let's keep it going. Okay, have a brilliant day. I'll speak to you again really soon.